The red carpet stretched like a river of fire beneath the Manhattan skyline, lit by 100 camera flashes. Outside the towering glass entrance of the Global Future Tech Gala, luxury cars purred to a stop every 30 seconds, releasing CEOs, innovators, and influencers wrapped in $1,000 suits and gowns. This wasn't just another event, it was the event. Only those who moved the world were allowed inside. A sleek black Rolls-Royce Phantom rolled up to the curb. The valet opened the door with a polite nod. Out stepped a woman whose presence shifted the air itself. Elena Hart, founder and CEO of Helix Corp. A name that could freeze a boardroom with one glance. Her black custom-tailored pantsuit shimmered subtly beneath the lights, her diamond ear studs catching every flash like fire. Without a hint of hesitation, she walked toward the velvet rope. A massive bouncer, built like a tank and holding a polished clipboard, stepped forward. His jaw was set, his stance immovable. "Name?" he asked gruffly. "Elena Hart." Her voice was crisp. "Come." Not a flicker of doubt. He scanned the list, then looked again. His expression remained blank, his hand resting on the velvet rope. "You're not on the list." A beat of silence. Just one. But in that second, the atmosphere changed. Heads turned. A couple behind her whispered to each other. One man across the entrance froze mid-sip of his champagne. Even the photographer's camera lens slowly tilted her way. Elena didn't blink. "Check again." Her voice was still quiet, but it carried weight. Years of boardrooms, press conferences, and closed-door takeovers gave it an edge. The bouncer looked once more, then met her eyes. "I said you're not on the list, ma'am. Step aside." Now even the security earpieces began to buzz. A junior organizer from inside peeked nervously from behind the doors but didn't dare intervene. Someone whispered, "That's Elena Hart. Helix Corp is one of the event's biggest sponsors." Still, no one moved. Elena's gaze remained locked on the man. She didn't plead. She didn't argue. She simply reached into her blazer pocket, pulled out her phone, and placed a single call. The line picked up almost instantly. "Pull the 33 million. "Immediately," she said. Then she ended the call. No anger. No dramatics. Just absolute precision. The bouncer shifted slightly. "Excuse me." But Elena had already turned her back to him. She stepped aside, not with defeat, but like a queen leaving a battlefield she had already claimed. Inside the gala, champagne glasses were raised and screens were counting down to the welcome address. They had no idea a nuclear-level detonation had just been triggered at their doorstep. Inside the grand ballroom, everything gleamed, from the crystal chandeliers to the polished marble floors reflecting the shimmer of designer heels. The world's most powerful players mingled under golden lights, sipping Dom Perignon, unaware that the ground beneath them was already cracking. Giant LED screens framed the stage, proudly cycling through the sponsors of the event. One name dominated them all: Helix Corp., Elena Hart's billion-dollar tech empire. Their logo shimmered across banners, drink menus, even the holographic centerpieces placed delicately on each VIP table. Backstage, the event producer stood with a headset, running last-minute checks. Cue the sponsor reel in 3, 2. The lights dimmed. A hush fell over the room. The screens lit up. But something was wrong. Where the Helix Corp logo should have appeared first, a black screen. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. Then the entire screen glitched. The logo vanished completely, replaced by a generic, placeholder watermark. Tech assistants scrambled behind the curtain. The producer's voice crackled through the comms. "Where the hell is Helix Corp's branding? Get it back up, now." Meanwhile, at the side of the ballroom, a man in a tuxedo, the gala's head of partnerships, stared at his phone, his face going pale. It was an alert from the finance team. Transfer reversed. $33 million. Helicorp sponsorship terminated. He ran across the dance floor, past startled guests, toward the main entrance where chaos was brewing. Outside, Elena Hart stood just beyond the velvet rope, hands behind her back, eyes fixed calmly on the entrance like a hunter watching prey walk into its own trap. The doors burst open. A middle-aged man in a too-tight tuxedo stumbled out, flustered and sweating. "Ms. Hart," he panted, reaching her. "This is clearly Clearly a mistake. We had a new team member working the list tonight. He must have. We're deeply sorry. Please, come in. Everything's being fixed as we speak. Elena tilted her head slightly. Her expression. You think this is about a list, she said, her voice as quiet as falling snow, and just as cold. The man stuttered. We value Helix Corp. You're our platinum sponsor. The entire event is practically. She cut him off with a single step forward. I built this gala, she said. Funded your platform. Gave it credibility. And yet, I was asked to step aside. Like a stranger. Cameras were already filming from a distance. Reporters outside were tweeting live updates. One headline popped up within seconds. Elena Hart denied entry at event she funded. Sponsorship pulled in real time. Elena turned, slowly walking toward her car. But Ms. Hart, please. We can. She paused and looked over her shoulder. Good luck finding another billionaire who'll fund your circus, she said. Then got in the car and shut the door. The Rolls-Royce pulled away, leaving silence and panic in its wake. Inside, the lights flickered. And the collapse had only just begun. The headlines came crashing down like thunder. $33 million sponsorship pulled live. Elena Hart makes corporate history. Global tech gala in crisis after CEO snub. Helix Corp goes dark. No comments, no clarification. Every major news outlet, every tech blog, every social media page was ablaze with the footage. Millions watched the now viral clip of Elena Hart being denied entry, followed by her single cold sentence into the phone. People weren't just talking, they were obsessing. Inside the Helix Corp tower, glass walls rose like a fortress in the sky. But within those walls, a storm was brewing. Not of chaos, of strategy. In her top-floor office, Elena stood quietly, watching news clips stream across multiple monitors. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Because everything was going exactly to plan. Here's what no one knew. Elena hadn't really pulled the $33 million. Not yet. The phone call was a masterstroke, a calculated bluff. The kind of move only a war-tested CEO would make. And the gala team? They took the bait like amateurs. In a panic to save face, they began throwing staff under the bus. First the intern, then the list manager, then the head of security. Press statements were sloppy, conflicting. Some claimed Elena was never invited. Others swore it was a clerical error. The cracks widened. But Elena had already activated the second phase. She'd known something was wrong for weeks. Whispers in finance meetings. Discrepancies in transfer reports. An anonymous tip. The gala organizers had been misreporting fund usage, taking corporate sponsorships, then funneling portions off into offshore dummy accounts. She hadn't gone public because she didn't need a courtroom. She needed a public execution. So, she let it unfold. Step 1. Walk into their event and be denied. Step 2. Pretend to rage quit. Step 3. Let the media do what media does best, burn everything down. The event's parent company stock began to wobble. Board members were asked for comment. No one knew what to say. Investors began pulling inquiries. A few remaining sponsors panicked and began distancing themselves from the gala entirely. One sent out an email. We are reassessing our involvement pending internal review. Helix Corp's integrity is foundational to our partnerships. And as the walls came down, Elena made her move. Behind the scenes, she sent her financial investigators to the press. Quietly, surgically. Leaked just enough evidence to hint at misappropriation. Just enough to make the story explode into something bigger than a sponsorship gone wrong. Suddenly, it wasn't about a billionaire being snubbed. It was about fraud. About corruption. About a woman who was denied entry to the empire she built, and returned with fire. And then, in a final move no one saw coming, she offered the intern, the poor guy who had been blamed for the guest list error, a job. Not out of pity. But because he had done something rare. He stood in the face of power, took the heat without excuses, and kept his dignity. Elena respected that. She didn't just hire him. She made him her executive assistant. And the headlines shifted again. Intern blamed in gala scandal now works for Elena Hart, The Queen doesn't forget. But the last twist, that was still waiting in the shadows. 3 weeks later, the final blow landed, not in front of flashing cameras or in a boardroom showdown, but in a quiet courtroom buried deep in federal records. A whistleblower dossier, anonymously submitted, contained damning evidence: forged invoices, falsified signatures, offshore transfers to shell corporations linked to 2 of the Gala's top executives. It was detailed, surgical, timed, and it left no room for escape. Federal agents raided the event organizer's office at 6:47 a.m. on a rainy Monday morning. Computers were seized. Phones confiscated. 2 senior board members were arrested by noon. Another resigned in disgrace. The headlines, once about celebrity guest lists and luxury tech summits, had turned into something darker. Gala execs under investigation for fraud, Elena Hart's team credited with exposure. Helix Corp CEO's cold move revealed as part of massive corporate sting operation. Suddenly, the world realized something chilling. This wasn't just a tantrum from a billionaire. It was a takedown. And Elena had orchestrated it all with the calm precision of a grandmaster in a chess match. Behind her silent composure, she had mapped the entire battlefield months in advance. From the moment she caught wind of their corruption, she didn't call lawyers. She called war strategists. Corporate intelligence. A team of private investigators. She had the receipts before they even knew she was watching. The denied entry scene wasn't a humiliation. It was a trap. The intern she hired? He later revealed that the night he joined her team, she handed him a folder with a single note inside. They left me off the list. Now they're off the map. The Gala was shut down indefinitely. Their sponsors gone. Their reputation permanently torched. Other companies took notice, quietly reviewing how they treated their platinum partners, especially ones like Helix Corp. Elena, meanwhile, never gave another comment to the press. She didn't need to. Instead, she focused on something bigger. 1 month after the chaos, she launched her own tech summit, the Atlas Forum, with transparency, innovation, and justice at its core. She didn't just take down an empire. She replaced it. And in the world of business, that's the final move. Not just revenge, but reign. As one tech journalist put it, she walked away from their red carpet and built her own throne. And from that day forward, in every high-profile event, in every private invite-only gala, there was a new saying whispered behind closed doors. Make sure Elena Hart's on the list. Or make sure you're not on hers.